was it about a Black man writing a show that showed the inner workings of four very diverse Black men that caused you to feel like this was something you had to bring to the screen?
Just feeling like it was time, you know, seeing how well, Black women were changing their own narrative and creating shows that, they could be proud of, and shows that portrayed them the way that they wanted to be seen. And also just seeing the way that we were portrayed. I travel a lot, and whenever I travel, I just see how much media affects our image, everywhere that we go, and it's very powerful. And I don't think people realize how powerful it is. And so how do we just create a little bit more of a balance? How do we, because, keep it real, some of my favorite shows, one of my favorite shows is The Wire, of all time. Great show. But you got to be able to turn The Wire off and then turn on Johnson or a show like that to where you can see another side of Black men.
Coach Rashid Edwards counsels and offers therapeutic sessions for Black men in his Atlanta Metro office. He believes today's landscape presents more mental challenges than ever for people of color, and he insists on how important it is for Black men to prioritize their mental and physical health.
It is vitally important, especially in this day and time, that Black men find a means to bond together, figure out how to support each other, how to find a way to connect. One of the biggest challenges with Black men, as I see it, and with men that I've worked with, we've been socialized into this space of being an individual, being strong enough to bear the weight of whatever the challenges are, and kind of work from a silo, be in this space of kind of like a hermit in a sense, where we do our own thing, we work independently and autonomously, but there are a few things that we miss when we operate in a vacuum. That connection is very important.
Today was different. I learned a lot about myself, and I realized I have a lot of work to do.
We're all a work in progress, That's right, man.
Black men's mental health, everything starts with your mental health, no matter who you are. If you're having issues, psychologically and mentally, it's going to be like a domino effect and affect everything else in your life. So, not just with social media, you see it a lot more in regards to Black men's mental health, but, you hear about it a lot in the press, you hear about it a lot in the media. Definitely on Johnson, we highlight that, especially with the Omar character. Omar is a stereotypical Black man in some ways. He's deemed aggressive, he's deemed assertive, he's deemed not faithful. There's a lot of flaws that Omar has, like a lot of other men have. But because usually a character like Omar, there's no backstory given on why he's that way. He's just seen as just this innately bad person. And what I'm proud of on this show is that we dive into the backstory of these characters. We dive into their traumas, their past. How did he become this person? How did these flaws come about? And also, how does he overcome those flaws? What steps is he taking to overcome those flaws? And I think that's why a lot of people connect with the show, Black men and Black women, because the same goes for both of us. As Black people, we've been traumatized for centuries. At this point, it's hereditary, And, unfortunately, our mental health has not been a premium. There's not been an emphasis put on protecting our mental health just as a collective, as Black people.
And so if I have guys around me that we can challenge each other and they can challenge me to the point where we can correct each other, or we can voice our opinion about something and not have any animosity or anything like that against each other, and respect each other's opinions, that's when I knew that I saw areas where I could change and elevate myself, and they respect that from me as well. And so that's for me, that's one of those things where it was a real wake up call for me and helped me to see them different. This is a very valuable relationship.
That's another part of how we all influence each other, is because we're learning lessons from each other constantly, whether we're intentionally teaching those lessons or whether we're like just picking them up.
Your age doesn't determine growth, experiences do.
Right.
And what I love about the show is that each of these guys are learning from each other's experiences. Whether one of the guys is giving them advice based off of their experience, or one of the guys is watching the other guy's experience.
Yeah.
And that's how it should be. You know, that's how brotherhood, sisterhood, friendship should be when you truly love the person. You care about the person. You want them to be the best version of themselves.
Yeah.
And you can be equally yoked as friends as well.
That's good.
You know what I'm saying? And I think these four guys are very, very equally yoked because they have history. They've known each other since they were kids.
Yeah.
And they're continuing to evolve and change, and also accepting each other for who they are.
Perhaps the most popular example of brotherhood is the football field. Often young boys are drawn to the game more for the need to belong and the camaraderie with teammates than for their own skill set. Before that talented 10th, such as Johnson star Thomas Q. Jones, or a franchise celebrity like Michael Vick, the brotherhood doesn't stop once they've retired their helmet and pads. We spoke with Michael Vick while he was promoting his new docuseries, Evolution of the Black Quarterback. For Michael, the pride of mentorship and the importance of brotherhood has become his legacy.
Yeah, it's amazing. Brotherhood is a responsibility that I take on to make sure that the generation that's coming after me is 10 times better than myself or Donovan or Steve, McNail or Randall Cunningham. We need them to do it better. You know what I'm saying? We need them to take it another step further. And I think they've done that. I think in terms of maturity and the opportunities that they have before they even step onto a college football field. They're with a lot of quarterback coaches and mentors and people that, want them to get better on all levels. And so, it's not like when we came up, we didn't have any quarterback coaches to work with. We didn't have football camps on a consistent basis. We didn't have 7-on-7 tournaments where we can go and grow as players and grow in terms of knowledge of the game.
Nearly 85% of the military is men, with over 20% of that number being Black men. Joining the military offers many of them a professional career and an opportunity to take care of and provide for their families. Unfortunately, many military vets suffer from PTSD and feel displaced when they leave their branch. The friendships and bonds formed with battle buddies and other soldiers offers a connection that often civilians aren't able to relate to. For Black soldiers, the camaraderie is extremely important as their experience is often vastly different from their peers.
Hi, my name is Adrian Jennings, and I'm an Army vet. I did 20 years in the military. I joined the military when I was 17 years old, and throughout my life, I had numerous mentors, battle buddies, friends, and even now to this day, brothers. It was important for me when I joined the military at 17. I went there with no friends, didn't know anybody, nobody knew me. And throughout the process, I met other Black battle buddies and mentors that helped me provide the way that and made it my own. When I retired as a Sergeant First Class, E7, platoon sergeant, acting first sergeant for a little while. And through the process of all the questions and mentorship that I had, most of them were, African American. And it was very important.
Jarvis has taught me, going from season 1 to 4, I think he's taught me that I have value. and that I'm enough. Why you asking that question now? Get me a little emotional. I almost did. Go ahead. I think, it's season 1, Jarvis plays it so safe. And I think he learns that he has value, and it's okay. It's okay to shift. It's okay to change. It's okay to grow. And I love how Jarvis continues to grow and evolve. And that's like in my own life.
Yeah.
Learning that I don't have to play so safe, and that if I make a mistake, it's okay. And also the brotherhood, right? Because having these guys in my life has filled a void that I didn't have.
Whether you have a friend group like the men of Johnson, Daytrick, and Rashid, or you have a group of men you've connected with through sports like Michael Vick, or Adrian, who developed long-lasting relationships with battle buddies from his time in the U.S. Army, having thorough lines of communication with other men can improve your health and quality of life. For those of us who are wives, sisters, friends, and mothers, our objective is to support, uplift, and celebrate you through the hardships and challenges of life. We hope that more projects like Johnson will be inspired from the brilliant mind of Deja LeRae. Others will begin to combat the stereotypes by creating instead of complaining. Much like Girlfriends and Living Single inspired Harlem and Run the World, it is our hope that Johnson will birth new series and projects adding context and color to the Black men we know and love.